So my first question is, obviously this is such a beautiful, sweeping epic. What was, and the book and everything has been such held in such high acclaim, but what was your first reaction when you read this script? Was there anything that stuck out to you in that kind of first moment, first reaction?
You go first.
My first reaction after I read the script, I was really amazed by the beautiful script, and like even though it only has 8 episodes, it contains so many things. So yeah, this sudden reaction that I had after I read the script was just amazing. It was beautiful.
Me?
Yeah.
Somehow after I read the script, because I felt an immediate connection to Sanja. Sanja is our role. She's younger Sanja and I'm old Sanja. Immediate connection to her. And then I had to play this role. That was my first reaction after I read the script.
Again, for both of you, is there anything about the character Sanja that stood out to you at, you're playing her at very different points in her life, but what was it about her that really spoke to you?
Um, Again, like when I was reading the novel, I recognized her as both fragile and resilience. So that was the key words that I really want to contain every time I have to do the performance. So yes, that was what I was trying to keep in mind. Fragile and also very survival and strong and has a wisdom born in nature. So yeah, that's what I was thought.
Yeah, same here. Her determination and her strength. Um, a survivor. She's a survivor. So, well, I became. That was her. She is playing a younger generation of me, but me became like a 74, 8 years old lady. Was very suitable for someone my age. Is suitable the role for me. So her determination and her strength was my point of her, portraying her as a character.
Something that's commonly said about this book is that it's not just one generation's story, it's our mother's story, it's our grandmother's story. And as we're taking a look at these different generations and these different timelines, what are you most excited to share about with this project that has not been commonly shared about generational stories like these?
Mm, to me, I'm an old actress, and it was very complicated. I got confused because all the timeline is different, like from 1919 till 1984. So kind of confused to me. But after I seen many episodes, you saw it too, and then they made us clearly with the big title. This is 1919. Sanja's age was, how old were you?
I'm
1990.
16.
It was 16, and my time was 84. And I'm so glad to this story being told. Well, this is the part of our history. But see, some of them, I mean, no, I'm not sure about younger generation, but my generation, we know about this story, how it begins and how it end up. And then this is kind of very deep story in our history part. And I didn't know personally, not detail of this part of history, but playing this role and read the script and read the novel and realized that this is we should do it. We should just so I just really hope we can honor this story, their family story too with this show. I hope you just explain to her.
Yes, I same thought. Like I like all the characters. I don't know about the other characters, but while I was reading the novel and the script, I also felt that I have to do this. I have to tell the stories to the world, right? So it's not, well, maybe people can feel that it's about like the historical events, but it's more about like family and love and survival, and how these characters um, react to all these situations that we're confronting. So yeah, what I really wanted to talk and tell the stories to the world was, I thought, this kind of huge love and humanity combines all the generations.
Yes, it's a human story. We
Mhm,
focused on human story between character. And of course, in those time, that time, there's a both side, in good or
Mhm.
bad. Then I was very surprised. The both side is trying to just survive in that time, their resilience and trying to survive and exist. Endure, they endure to survive and exist. So it's a great story
Yeah,
actually
it's
for us.
yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, I think when we look at period pieces, it's so intimate for how much it covers. You really feel so close to her. And what I appreciate about that is that it kept the historical aspect to the point where you can really, really, get an idea of what was happening in each of her points. But it also just, it felt so personal that it, like you said, it's a very human story. And I think that glimpse inside humanity and that grief and the loss and love is something that's so hard to pull off with period pieces because there's so much going on. You're taking in the historical element, but you also really want to focus on her interpersonal relationships and her relationship with herself. I mean, as both of you are playing different parts of her journey, what did you think, as you were entering this role? Did anything about the character surprise you as you were playing her?
To me, honesty, because then back in that time, actually, she's pregnant with
Yeah.
she thought he didn't marry, but
Right.
she found it out later. He already had marriage in Japan, and she didn't know. But she insists have that baby, and lucky enough, she met the pastor who doesn't mind about having somebody else boy or not. We were not sure, but her honesty was very back in those time. Maybe it's very difficult situation, but she just endured. So that character, Sanda, and me, my character is very strong lady. She has a very strength to just have a determination and resilience and to endure, to survive. And then she's leading the family. So that's kind of her survivor story. Her journey is very, in a way, it's tragic, but she just managed it amazingly.
Yeah,
That
right.
was very impressive to me,
It's
inspired by her journey.
it's very heartbreaking in a way because I think when we think about endurance and especially women who endure, there's almost an element of did they have a choice of you have to push through and you have to go on no matter what. But I think what's impressive about this story is, what you guys said at the beginning of the video is that she kept her softness. She didn't get hard, she didn't get bitter, she let love win at the end of the day and let it keep her tender. And you can see that in her relationship with her children and her relationship with herself. So I thought that was beautifully done.
You understood perfectly, more than us. How many episodes did you watch?
I watched all of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, good.
I mean, it was really emotional. I love stories about survivalhood, but I also love seeing them in a way that felt like they, it didn't defeat them. Like, because for me, it was really warming to see that she was still able to have a beautiful relationship with her children, and she was able to stay strong, but not in a hardened, jaded way. And I
So,
think that's the truest resilience.
by the way, you look like Asian.
I am. Yeah, I'm Chinese.
Chinese.
see.
Okay. Did you know about our history? But you know the
No,
oh you
no,
didn't at all.
I grew up in the United States, so there's a lot
Oh,
about, I think, Asian history that's overlooked, and I do think that's a tragedy. I felt like, sorry, it's
Oh.
my cat. I felt like I learned so much about just Asian occupations of other Asian countries. Like that was
yes.
very new to me, and
Yes. Oh,
I love stories like this because it really just sheds a light on how much history Asia has in particular.
Mhm.
good. So she understood perfectly. How about didn't you get confused about timeline like 1919 and
Yeah. They have a lot of
1939
flashbacks.
flashback?
No, I think the editors did a beautiful job editing it too, where you can
Good.
very
I think
clearly tell what's
yes,
going
yes.
on.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, good. That's what
Mhm.
I was worried or more
Mhm.
concerned about how they're going to adapt
Mhm.
the story because the timeline was different
Mhm.
back in New York and everywhere. So okay, you understood perfectly. I'm so
Mhm.
glad that she's a
Yeah.
nice audience for
Mhm.
us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
Perfect
come with
audience.
nothing but compliments. But I mean, you've been in this industry a long time. You've done so many wonderful roles. What about this project maybe stood out to you most? Because I read in the production notes that you were talking about how hard it is to find a role at this point in your career that really just gets your interest. But I just wanted to see how this compares to your other projects.
Well, to me, usually I'm not proud of myself, like being this long period of time in this field, but my age, role is role to me, usually. This one, somehow, I felt like I had to play this role. I I thought, it's my thought, and oh, I could be better than anybody representing Sanja. So that's, I was arrogant about, having it, playing the role. It's just a role to me, role is role to me. But this one is, I felt, oh, I had to play this role. I had to present this lady. That was my feeling after I read the script. That's why I read the script first, and then I tried to organize or trying to sort it out. That's why I bought the novel next day, and then I read it in 2 days. So
That's impressive.
that's how it's
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. You sped read. Did you have any thoughts of how, it's always hard to adapt a novelization of something, but how did you, for both of you, how did it compare to the original source versus the script that you got?
Well, we are not sure yet. That's the audience part.
Yeah.
If anybody read
Mhm.
the story, the novel, and then, I'm sure they could relate
Mhm.
our show better than without reading it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they did wonderful job. Editing was beautifully done, and so I'm sure they maybe after that they like to read the novel. It doesn't matter. They
Yeah,
can
yeah, it
connect
doesn't matter.
better.
Yeah, totally agree.
Well, I think my time is up, but it was really wonderful talking to both of you. Amazing job on this project. I mean, I cried a lot. It did feel like I was watching my mother's story and my grandmother's story, and just seeing everything play
Yes.
out. It's so beautiful.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. You already seen our
Yeah.
episode and you understood
Mhm.
perfectly. So we appreciate
Yeah.
you.